The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
A story that I saw about a speech that they say was made by you at the Tea Party Patriots in Arizona, and it's getting a lot of attention. What happened in that speech? What was said, and what's been the fallout?
Well, that was the first Tea Party this year that asked me to do a presentation at one of their gatherings, and basically the text of the message was that America's at a crossroads. We see a declining America across the board. We see a very ineffective, corrupt, inept government that seems to be totally broken. And so the question is, what do we do about it? How do we replace these leaders? Will the normal political process work of elections, or do we have to go to demand resignations when they're not performing for us, the people? So that was sort of the gist of it. Now it's carried over to about 7 other events that I've been invited to really steer forward the Tea Parties around the country, new direction, elevate them to a very significant part of the movement, to be an American first before being a Republican or before being a Democrat. So that's sort of the message, Peter.
There was a quote, and I'll give it to you, and it said on the speech that you said, and I quote you, "I had a call this afternoon from Idaho, and a gentleman said, if I gave you 250,000 Marines to go to Washington, will you lead them?" As it goes, it says the group laughed and gasped, and you said, "Yes, I will. I'll surround the White House, I'll surround the Capitol building, but it's going to take physical presence to do things." That was credited to you. Did you say that, sir?
Well, I said it in the context of America standing up, and the veterans organizations. We just had a big gathering in Nashville, Tennessee yesterday. I think what you see is a lot of the veterans now, and even many of the active duty, are sort of fed up with the role of the leaders. Mm-hmm. And if they needed a leader to go back to Washington and represent them, I would do that, and I certainly would.
Tell me what that means. I mean,
Well, what it means is just going back, peaceful protest, a peaceful stand-up, really voicing the concerns of the military. I don't have confidence our senior generals and admirals are standing up for our military. We see it being gutted now. We see many of the benefits for our veterans. It's just horrible what's happening in the Veterans Administration. So it's about leading. It's about standing up for America, for our Constitution. But it certainly doesn't indicate any kind of a move to have an armed military revolution that many have accused some of us of fomenting.
I was going to say, you know that criticism has been laid at you since that speech.
Sure.
That you're talking about a coup, you're talking about this, you're talking about that.
Yeah, and I didn't mention the military coup. I have mentioned my trip to Egypt, meeting Joe Al-Sisi several months ago, how 33 million Egyptians stood up to throw the Muslim Brotherhood out. Mm-hmm. And there's a good example of a country that is not going to accept what's been put on them politically. That's the State of the Union. And when I saw Obama and that parade of clowns at the State of the Union the other night, all in there joyfully, hand-slapping,
standing,
smile. It reminded me of the cocktail bar scene in Star Wars.
I say that all the time. It's the bar scene in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Bring in the clowns, take out the clowns. But these people have to be removed from office. We need leadership across the board, or America's going to really fail. And the other countries see us as a failing nation. They see Putin as the strongest politician in the world right now, and he's basically dictating the future of the Middle East.
What does history say? Failure is weakness. Weakness breeds contempt. Contempt brings overthrow.
Correct.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.